Okay, so the channel has passed 1,040 subscribers today. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed recently and given the channel their support and their time. It is quite humbling. Even for a channel that's small in size compared to others, I find that a nice achievement. I never thought I would get to this many subscribers and get to this stage. And it is quite rewarding as well. I really enjoy doing what I do as a hobby. I do have a full-time job. I keep telling people this, the new subscribers, I do have a full-time job. And sometimes it can be a bit draining and a bit tiring covering multiple sports, which is what I do, which I think is the unique thing about the channel, is that most sports YouTubers who do something similar to me will cover one team, one sport, one league. I'm the opposite. I cover multiple teams, multiple sports, multiple leagues. And that's what I find really fun is doing, like looking at a football club history from like its foundation to the present day, their successes, their failures. So, for football fans, I've covered a lot of English and Scottish clubs. I've done a lot of European clubs, and I find that real fun. They don't get a lot of views necessarily, but they're so much fun to do. To my NRL content, my rugby league content, I'm a massive NRL fan. It's one of my favourite leagues. I watch the NRL religiously. I have not missed an NRL game in nearly 4 years. I watch every game every weekend, and I really enjoy it. I should have possibly done more NRL content, not less, and I've slacked off a little bit. But after watching like 8 games a weekend, I'm pretty worn out, to be fair, because their kickoff times is like there's a 12, 13 hour difference. It is exhausting. I have to wake, if I want to watch a game live, I've got to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning our time in the UK, but I'll do it. And I enjoy watching the NRL. I love my NHL. I love my ice hockey. I love my rugby union with the Six Nations and the World Cup. I I also do obviously the breaking news stories when like a manager's sacked, there's a sports scandal, the ones that no one likes doing. And I don't do it just for clickbait clicks. I do it and I break it down, going, this is important because we as fans are consumers of this product, and I try and do it in a balanced, unbiased way. I think I've learnt a lot. My most popular video on this channel is my least favourite. And that's when Dan Rowan, the BBC journalist, made some really inappropriate comments following the Leicester City helicopter crash. That is my least favourite video because I'm too reactionary and I allow my emotions to get the better of me. I have learnt to be unbiased and as balanced as possible. And sometimes, yeah, I get it wrong in a match review or when a manager gets sacked. Sometimes I don't get that quite right, but I'm less emotional and I'm less, I wouldn't say controversial, but not passionate, but reactionary. I try and look at it and go, okay, this has happened. Was it avoidable? What could the outcomes be? I'm not a fan of managers getting sacked all the time, although I do believe, honestly, sometimes freshening up, it can run its course between a manager and a club or a head coach and a team. But when it happens, I mean, sometimes it happens so regularly, I just give up. And some clubs like Watford in football sack managers all the time. It's almost impossible to keep up which manager they've got this week. And other clubs will have a manager for a long time and then they make a massive decision. So whatever happens, let's say with Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp, which could be an example, because he's been there a long time, it's going to be very, very, wow, this is a big thing. Potential takeovers. The Newcastle United takeover, I followed that from day one till closing of sale. That was a saga that has basically followed the history of the channel, which is another reason why we are a sports channel, is that Newcastle takeover saga. I'm really popular in Newcastle with Geordies. They love me, and I love them. And I've got a soft spot for Newcastle. I always have. Some of my favourite players in football have played for Newcastle United, even though I'm not a Newcastle United fan. Some of my favourite players that I've seen play the game have played for that club or have come from the northeast. I love the northeast of this country. I've got friends from the northeast. It's a fantastic part of the country, and it is a football heartland. The production of talent that's come out of the northeast that has gone on to represent England in both the men's and women's games at the highest level in tournaments. Just look at it. It's part of the identity of the northeast is football. To the rugby league, like I love my rugby league, and I'm a southerner. I shouldn't, right? Apparently, that's an alien concept to the RFL. I'm a massive rugby league fan. I have been since the age of 3 years old. And this is why I do the multiple sports, is my passion for it. And also I know that with all the viewers I have around the world, what's a popular sport in one country won't be in another. So New Zealand, it's rugby union, rugby league are the two most popular sports, right? In Canada, it's ice hockey, it's the NHL. In England, it's football. In France, who knows? Is it cycling? Is it football? Is it rugby union? Is it rugby league? Is it ice hockey? Is it motorsport? France is a very interesting country when it comes to its professional sport and who likes what. It's a very mixed. There's no one dominant sport in France. Germany, the Bundesliga, and motorsport, very football and motorsport, very popular in ice hockey, very popular in Germany. Whereas in South Africa, it's cricket and rugby union. Whereas in Argentina, ironically, the most popular sport, polo. And of course, football and rugby union, because they're kind of good at those. But you see how different countries, India, cricket and field hockey. Because I've played a lot of these sports and I've watched a lot of these sports, and I have friends who have done the same, played and watched and are involved. It's kind of that uniqueness about being a, because someone may like rugby union and football and be fans of both, which I am. So it's kind of that sports fix, that sports discussion, and of course there will be live streams as well, and they're great fun. They are absolutely fantastic fun, the live streams, and you get to engage with the audience. So you'll see me do live streams predominantly on weekends in the evenings when I can, and they are absolutely fantastic fun. And some of the questions, I mean, there is no such thing as a dumb question. So if you're a rugby union fan but you don't quite understand ice hockey, for example, and go, well, can you explain this and that? I'll happily do it. If you are hardcore football fan, but you've seen the brutality of ice hockey or MMA or rugby league, and you're like, explain this to me, explain that. I'm happy to do it. There is no such thing as a dumb question. There are things that I've learned about sport by doing this channel, by researching, going, that's a thing? That's a thing? You see what I mean? Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me ramble a little bit, but that's a little bit about why I do the multiple sports thing, and thank you so much for all the support I've had as well. Really appreciate it. I hope to see you guys in the comment section very, very soon.